What day is that email?
March the 8th.
March the 8th. So I've actually had to...
And it's May. So.
Right. I had to write a couple more injuries to there. I wrote them in at the bottom.
In that short amount of time, you managed to get more injuries. By the way, just looking at this list before we dive into it, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you probably shouldn't play softball anymore.
Well, I don't.
Okay.
I've retired.
Thank goodness.
In fact,
you might not be with us by next March if you keep playing softball.
Right. Rob and I were just having a conversation recently about, some content here for the YouTube channel. And whose idea was it, Rob, to just go through my injuries as entertainment value? I thought so. Yeah, Rob had the idea that, why don't we just sit down and talk about your injuries? And so I just started typing, just freeform, remembering all the injuries in my life that are my fault. Well, one of those isn't. But anyway, so I just
These are basically, this is the highlight reel though, right?
That's a highlight reel.
Okay,
it's a highlight reel.
Okay,
yeah.
just make sure.
I'm an accident-prone individual, if you know anything about me. So I thought we could sit down and we could go through some of these. What did I list as the first one on there?
Well, number one, I'm curious to know how this happened. Stepping on scissors.
Yeah. So I remember it well. We lived in Houston, Texas, and I was carrying scissors and something else, and I was like, I got to change this light bulb first. And so I set the stuff down that I was carrying, including the scissors, and I stepped up to change the light bulb. And remember, I had only set the scissors on the floor next to the chair 30 seconds before. And after I changed the light bulb, I stepped down. Right. And I just remember going, oh, that's right. And I just remember picking my foot up and pull it. I tell you, if you've ever been stabbed, that feeling is the worst, that piercing. Anyway.
So what did you have to have done to fix that? Just a bandage?
Yeah,
You didn't bleed out. That's good.
And I didn't get infected or anything, so that was good.
I don't even know what this means. Power wash golf cart.
Yeah, so and these are just in random order, just came to my mind. I worked at a golf course once, and whenever the members were done doing their round, we'd clean the carts.
Yeah.
And I had a power washer, that was part of the deal. And I remember spraying into this one cart, and there was a pack of crackers that was like half eaten or whatever, and like some of the crumbs blew out when I power washed it, right? Mm-hmm. And it got stuck on my shin, some of these little cracker pieces.
Oh my gosh, I see where this is going.
I'm not a smart man, is the problem. And so I thought, I don't want to bend over and get the crackers off of my leg. So I just started, without thinking, power washed my shin. And I had this like weird, like almost like a 6 or an S type cut. That was stupid. That was stupid.
So it cut you or bruised you?
Oh, it cut me. Oh, it sliced me. It just went. I was like, what am I doing?
I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought that you'd had like a massive bruise, but I wouldn't have thought that it would have cut through the skin.
Oh, it was like, it was stupid.
Wow.
I'm telling you, all these are going to show how stupid I truly am.
When you were 7 years old, what happened with your lunch tray?
Oh, yeah, that one was, this lady used to pick us up, me and this other girl, after school. And for whatever reason, the girl wasn't out in the car, and all the pickups had happened and stuff. And so the babysitter lady said, hey, go and see, I think her name was Melissa or something. Go see where she's at, So I ran into the school, and this teacher was coming out of the teacher's lounge around the corner, and I just ran smack. Knocked me out.
Oh.
And so, I don't know, I've got a scar. I think it's, anyway. Because I just came around the corner and she was holding a lunch tray, right at my eye level.
Blood incident with a school tray?
Yeah, I had to get stitches, and it was a big deal. And that was the same year, actually, that some stupid jerk kid pushed me over this fence. Like a football went over the fence, and I was climbing the fence to go get it because I had overthrown the other kid. And this jerk kid, Wayne, I can't remember your last name. Lucky for you. Just shoved me over. I ended up breaking my arm.
Oh.
And I played baseball at the time. And I actually am not upset about this. It was a nightmare having this broken arm in the cast in the middle of, it was a fall, actually. But after that, man, because I used to play second base because I didn't have a good arm,
But it worked better after
I'm telling you, man, it turned me into like some freak of nature.
Wow.
And I started Yeah, it worked out nicely.
Blessings in disguise.
Seriously, the arm strengthened after that. I'm not kidding you.
I don't think I want to know this one, but high school razor edge.
Yeah, so we were in one of the classrooms. We were cleaning stuff off the walls with with razors, and I remember my hand was.
They were giving you guys the little.
Well, this was an advanced class, Hilary. Okay, this wasn't math. I was literally. This is fun fact. I was in the lowest level possible math. Surprise. But I was in.
I think that's just like a media person thing.
Sure, yeah. So, but I was in advance for like media production stuff. And in this media productions class, there was stuff on the wall, and I just remember I was standing on a ladder, and I just had my hand. I was like, oh. And God only knows which finger it was at this point.
Oh gosh,
And the reason I can't tell where that happened is because of another injury we're going to get to soon that I'm looking at the scars of right now.
I'm terrified of box cut. It's just, it's too easy.
Yeah, it was straight, right here, yeah.
We're going to get into the softball injury portion of our conversation.
Yeah, there's 3 listed, right?
Yeah, there's 3. So we're going to start with a softball bruise in New York City.
Oh, yeah, New York City. Yeah, okay. So right before I moved from South Carolina to New York City to work for Glenn, there was this I headed up this organized the softball team through my church, and we were in the end of the season tournament, and in the elimination game, actually it's hard to explain, but there was a game that was meaningless. We were losing 18-1 or something. It was the last inning, but it was fine because we hadn't lost in the tournament. It was double elimination, so we were going to get a chance to play them again.
Go on anyway, okay.
Which we ended up winning. What's up, Luthies? Just stupid. I decided to run into this guy on the base paths, and I ended up flipping over and just the nastiest bruise I have ever had in my life. And the reason I wrote New York City on there is because that bruise lingered on my arm for so long. Because remember, I had just taken a job with Glenn.
Yeah.
This tournament was probably a week before I moved to New York City. And for 3 weeks after, so for a full month, there were just still remnants. And every day I would check, I was just like, oh, there's my last connection to South Carolina. It was so gross. And again, it was stupid because the game was over. Right when you
started a new job.
Yeah.
All right, softball finger. What did you do to your finger?
Oh, gosh. That one, I still don't know how this happened. I was playing shortstop, and I was trying to get a ground ball or something, and I think it was this finger. Yeah, I think it was this one. I don't know.
That's the one you use the most when you're driving.
That's right. You don't want to. You gotta protect the bird finger, man. And so it. Oh gosh, Hilary, it somehow the ball hit me, and it shifted my fingernail. And it was so gross, and I've never seen so much under there exposed. Like I forgot how the play ended. Like it bounced off me. And I just let the third base. I didn't even let the play finish. The third baseman, you pick it up. I don't know. And I just went to I remember going to the bathroom there near the field.
Yeah.
I remember just running water and just standing there for 10 minutes. The problem is that when someone in that bathroom would flush a toilet or the water pressure would change.
Oh gosh.
I was like, It was not good.
But your nail grew back.
By the way, all these softball injuries happened when I did not have health insurance, which is the problem with the cheap shot, because I hit this bloop ball and they ended up overthrowing it, and then I don't know. I want to say I was a jerk. I'm hyper competitive. And so I was, between first and second base, daring them to throw the ball, which they did, and they overthrew it. That's what happened. And so I think by the time I got to third base, and I never slide head first. I've slid like head first playing baseball and softball for decades. I never slide head first. This one time I did because I was not going to get thrown out for basically showing them up.
Yeah.
And, you got to love a church softball league where the massive third baseman from a Methodist church decided that he was going to WWE me, even though the play was over, man. My arms were extended. And that dude just landed on me, and I remember feeling just like a lightning bolt going through me. And what had happened was I ended up, thanks to that ass, I ended up having a torn labrum, torn rotator cuff, a bicep tear, stuff that... Because he decided to just land on me like this, as opposed to...
Did you send him your medical bills?
Do that again? I don't know, like this.
You couldn't handle an elbow drop?
Okay, get out of my face. So And I didn't have health insurance, right? So
my
arm.
Okay, your wife is a saint.
Yeah. Oh, she's had to deal with so much.
I'm really surprised Carrie wasn't like, you're quitting softball after the first one.
I think she knows that's a losing battle. There are battles that
aren't worth
wives know not to pursue. Because I remember carrying groceries for years like this. I couldn't pick my kids up very well. It was so bad.
That's sad.
And so eventually I had to get surgery, which, I had here.
Right.
Because this happened in South Carolina. And then I went to New York and then back. But my point is, when I got healed up, I had found a great doctor to do this. I didn't put on there all the elbow surgeries and stuff. Ugh. Anyway, so hold on. So I think I can play again, right? And I remember joining some team as like a free agent here when we moved. I was like, I can play. I don't know how old I was then. What am I now? 30. So I guess I was 36-ish. Yeah. 38-ish. I don't know. It's like, I can still play. And I went out there and I was like, yeah. I got you. I'll play shortstop for you, man. I got a good arm. It's good. It'll be great. And I remember the first ground ball, and they don't even know me. I know some guy. I don't even remember the guy. I don't know how I knew him. The first play I get, I just launched the ball nowhere near the first baseman. This arm started to feel like this one did. I said, I retired in the middle of the game. I said, I'm sorry. I can't. I didn't even wait for the game to finish up. And so I've avoided surgery on this arm.
Had you continued to play, though,
it
might have been a different story.
Because I know a physical therapist guy, who's actually an earlier episode here of At the Mic. And he had to teach me how to throw the ball again. Because I kind of dip it down. And people my entire life, my entire childhood warned me, you're going to wear out your arm.
And you did.
Oh, I did. And so I just never threw it over the top. I would always throw it off to the side. And stupid.
Gosh,
stupid.
Okay.
What else?
So you've retired from softball, but what happened with your wedding ring and a doorknob?
It was right here. It was in the studio. I remember one morning I was with Doc Thompson, God rest his soul, and I remember I was trying to run in between breaks or something. I had to go get something, and there was a door that's no longer there, just a regular doorknob, and the part where it latches on the door.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it. It has like just a little piece of metal sticking out from the part that latches.
Right.
And my ring gets caught on it, and I have to. It could have easily, if I were in a moving vehicle and this happened, right? This would have severed your finger.
But it didn't break your finger or anything.
No. It just thankfully just brought me back just in time.
Gosh, that's awful.
This is me, man.
What happened to you with the hedge trimmer?
Oh, that was also during the Doc Thompson days. That was. Man, this is so ironic. So I was using the hedge trimmer, and I ended up slicing the wire. I got too close to the blades and everything, the power cord. And I took a picture, Rob. I took a picture on the driveway, and I composed the tweet, and I didn't send it yet. And it said, had a near-death experience. Thankfully, this wasn't my finger or something like that. I don't know. It was something like that. And it showed the severed cord. I just took a picture on the driveway with the hedge trimmer, and then I went back and did my deal. I never tweeted it. And so then I'm out there, and the cord it kept getting in the way, and I would try to push it out of the way and all this stuff. And then finally, it got right there at the thing, and I just wasn't even, this is the story of my life. I wasn't thinking. And I went to move it away or something without even, never mind the jaws of steel. Right. I'm just like, I got to get this cord out of here. Well, why do you have to get the cord out of there, Malinak? Because you don't want the cord to get cut. Completely not even paying attention. So I ended up just slicing these 3 fingers. In fact, the doctor on this middle one, when I got to the hospital, he said, I've never seen a finger that was that mangled and still attached. He did an incredible job. I mean, I don't know if you can see that. I mean, he did an incredible job. You barely even see the stuff anymore.
Yeah, you really.
But for weeks, it was just so nasty in there. And
are you right-handed?
Right-handed, yeah.
Okay, so it was on your left hand. So at least you could still use your right hand.
And so I don't wear a wedding ring based on that door stuff, based on this, whenever I do yard work.
Smart.
I mean, because I am. Look at me.
Anything can happen.
But what happened was I was home alone when this happened. And I remember running to everybody keeps radio station t-shirts that they work at, you guys, right. I guess, you don't use them for anything. Well, I had this box. I just happened to have seen this box in the garage a few days before. Just nothing but these old, nasty radio station t-shirts. And that was the first thing I thought of was I got to go and find one of those t-shirts, just use it as a tourniquet, right?
Yeah.
And I wrapped it up. My keys to my truck were as far away from me as possible. And I remember running through the house, just squeezing my fingers as tightly as I could with this nasty, God knows what kind of diseases are on these radio station t-shirts for more reasons than one. And the dogs were like, oh, what's going on? They were like running for cover and stuff. And I got to my keys. I went out of the truck, and I think I sat on my hand or something. And I saw my neighbor was right in front of me, just outside the neighborhood. And I said, hey, can you take me to the emergency room right now? I feel like I'm going to pass out, Robert. And he goes, yeah, sure. And I saw him get out of the turn lane and head back to the neighborhood. He didn't realize I was right behind. So he went home, and I had to keep driving to the hospital. I was like, no. I called him, but it was bad. And I just remember getting to the hospital, and the male nurse guy was just like, so, when was the last time you had a tetanus shot? And I was like,
oh, no.
He goes, well, your new answer is today. I just remember there was a Friends episode playing in the ER. I just remember standing there, and all I could just remember was like, I'm about to fall over, and the last thing I'm going to see is Phoebe making some stupid line here, reference here. And it was a bad day. And I ended up watching the Huskers on my phone in an ER bed that day.
I do feel like when you're in the hospital, if it's for something like that, like something that's kind of traumatic, I do think that you always remember what's playing on the television.
Right? Yeah, that's interesting.
It was Wheel of Fortune for me. So
What did you do?
Gave birth.
Traumatic.
It was traumatic.
Yeah. Now, I remember, oh gosh, I was just having this conversation with my oldest daughter. I was like, Michigan State and Maryland played a NCAA basketball tournament game the night you were born. Just thought I would tell you that. And then the Flintstones came on. So something.
It's just etched in your brain somehow.
I woke up from knee surgery with Star Trek TNG episode Birthright.
Okay.
See? Everybody, I just think it's a thing we all remember.
And the only thing that I really recall is I could hear it, and then all of a sudden something was bothering my nose, and I'm sitting there with my eyes closed still, just doing this. Just beating the crap out of myself.
Yeah. The first time I got COVID.
That was 22 years ago.
22 years ago, wow. We talk about trauma and what's on TV. First time I got COVID, and it was so bad. I mean, I could go through a catalog of everything I watched while I was just laying there,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's interesting.
Those are the moments where you're like too out of it really, or too tired, or too whatever, to be mindlessly scrolling on your phone while something's playing in the background.
Right.
So you are forced to focus on the television, like undivided for the first time in who knows how long. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's talk about your field goal labrum tear. I was here for this.
Rob loves this.
Was too.
Rob loves this because
I did it.
Because I was trying to outkick him out there. I think we were done, and I was like, you know what? Let's do one more from out the Barney tree. Was way out there. I was like, let's try to kick from the Barney tree. We set up the field goal. This was during our quarantine Olympics during COVID.
I didn't know that tree was from Barney.
Yeah, that's the Barney tree. And they cut off the bottom part of it and put it in that little planter thing out there.
Weird. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Poor Barney tree. Anyhow, so I just tried to kick, and it's on Twitter somewhere, this video still, where I kick it, and you just see me just clench my fist. I'm just like, yeah, we're done. Because that lightning bolt feeling, again, just went through. And so I found this great surgeon. I always do find these great surgeons, at least. And so I'm a freak of nature, and he told me, a certain percentage of, freaks of nature have this weird thing where the bone is too close in the socket,
Uh-huh.
And so that was the case with me. And so it had been, I guess, hurting, nothing debilitating whatsoever. But what happened there is that was such a shock to the system, it just severed it, and I had to go in and get the whole works. And you talk about Carrie being a saint. I mean, there's been so many times, whether it's the arm in a sling for 3 months, which, by the way, that doctor said that I'm going to regret that surgery for 3 months and feel pain for exactly 3 months. and then I'll be on the road to recovery. I remember the first day I didn't feel pain from that shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
I was standing down there in the studio, and there was a calendar, and I'm going, wait, I haven't had to take a pill today? It's okay. And I remember looking at the calendar, it was 3 months to the day of the surgery. But anyway, this was brutal too, and...
So since that time, though, there's been 2 more.
Yeah, I wrote some other ones,
You recently hurt your foot?
Okay, this was so stupid. I honestly don't know how this happened. It was actually my 46th birthday, and I was just walking through the house. I was walking into my bedroom on my birthday, and my foot, like the ball of the foot there, just felt like something broke. Like, it was the stupidest thing. I wasn't running, wasn't kicking, wasn't doing anything athletic whatsoever. And it hurt for the rest of the day. And I was like, do I have 4 broken toes? I mean, it was weird. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to bed. And hopefully, when I wake up tomorrow, everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it didn't hurt after that.
Like a weird cramp or something.
It was
in there.
so weird. And it was so ironic that it was on my 46th birthday. And I thought, oh, this is perfect. Now I'm just getting injured, literally walking through my house.
It's just God's way of letting you know, like, the minutes are ticking by. You only got so many
Appreciate
left.
that. Yeah, thank you. Oh, this last one here is so stupid.
Your wrist. Okay, how'd you hurt your wrist a month ago?
Okay, so it was over a month ago this happened. I'm walking through the parking lot, and my youngest daughter is with me. And I don't know, we're just goofing around, you know? And I started it. So I instigated this. I deserve this, okay? Mm-hmm. And so I think we had like a program to some play that we'd just gone to, and I just kept hitting her with it or something. And so our wrists hit. Now, she is totally fine, thankfully, because I would not be able to forgive myself. Yeah. But ever since then, man, my left wrist, I don't know if it's broken. I don't know what's going on there. But if I turn it a certain way or whatever, it hurts so bad.
You need a steroid shot or something.
This is the kind of stupidity that I am so good at.
This leads me to a couple of thoughts.
Okay.
Let's start with, could there be a small chance that perhaps subconsciously you're getting hurt on purpose because you enjoy the sympathy?
No, because most of the stuff is so stupid that I don't share it at the time. I got Rob Eno walking by shaking his head. Shut up. My goodness,
what
no.
Do you think,
because
Rob? Is it for the attention?
Rob's
there's 2 Robs. Yeah. No.
Well, maybe attention at home.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Like, get the wife to take care of you a little bit more if she's not doing her job properly.
But then we always ask you too.
But the coworkers.
But when he's
they're not going to give me any kind of sympathy.
Maybe he doesn't realize that.
There's a term for that.
We always care when you were out for surgery and things like that. It's sad because we get worried. Well,
now listen to this.
Anyway.
Listen to this. No, I wish it were that simple.
I wish some part of you.
I wish it were that simple.
Or
the problem is, I am literally that uncoordinated. I don't know that you realize the level of uncoordination that I possess. What's your other theory?
Is it uncoordination, or
I don't know. I made it up.
Just so spacey while you're doing everything that you don't focus on one thing.
Yeah, it makes for being a good driver. Sorry. Distracted.
So do you think that, like when you're a boxer or an MMA fighter?
1-0, by the way.
The people
career record boxing.
Heck yeah. Well, that everyone's told me you're on top of the world until that first time you get knocked out. And after you get knocked out that first time, it's no matter how mentally strong you are, physically strong you are, there's something in the back of your mind, your body remembers that moment where you wake up and everyone knows what happened except for you. And once you've been knocked out once, I mean, you're so prone to it again and again and again because there's just like that little, and I'm just wondering if you have that little voice inside your body. It's like, you're going to get hurt, Keith, you're going to get hurt. And then you get hurt.
Well, I put myself in bad situations, So I think that just like for example, like this is like the softball stuff is probably from being, only a couple of them, being too competitive, The razor's edge thing, that was just stupidity. That was just not being proper. Stuff you learn in Boy Scouts, cut away from your hand, right? The lunch tray, I didn't have to run through the stupid building. Power wash golf cart, stupidity. Just not thinking, hey, you might get the crackers out, but you're gonna get some blood out too there. The stepping on scissors, stupidity. This isn't like for a yeah. I'm stabbing myself with scissors. Hold on.
Just trying to find a reason.
Wedding ring doorknob. That was just dumb luck. That was just stupid. Hedge trimmer was so dumb.
Well, I was trying to
help me out, weren't you?
Trying.
No, I'm just that uncoordinated.
Well, okay, if it makes you feel any better, and then I know we'll wrap this up, but not that long ago, I was walking into our building. The sidewalks were not icy. We have a couple of little holes in the sidewalk out there. And my heel, because I wear a lot of these, got stuck in one of the holes in the sidewalk out there. And I didn't even know what happened. I mean, it was one of those where, like, you fall and you have no idea. Like, it shocked me so badly because I have fairly good balance. It's like one of the few things I do have. And I was laid out on the ground on the sidewalk, bleeding profusely.
What?
Just laying there, like, completely
stunned. Just a
stunned.
couple months ago.
Yeah, this was pretty recent. And I was like, I don't understand what happened. I'm looking around and I thought, oh gosh, because, we have pretty heavy security here and we've got cameras everywhere. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the security guard inside's probably just
where were you
laughing
bleeding
his head
from?
off. I tore my legs all up. I had a huge bruise. Yeah.
So bad. It was ice related?
No, not at all. That's why I was like, I didn't even know what happened. There was a little hole in our sidewalk out there, which may have been from the ice, but my heel got caught in the hole.
There's someone that you and I both know who recently, that same ice situation, ended up taking a massive spill, and they've been going through physical therapy for the last several months. Any guesses as to who that might be?
I don't know who that would be.
Anybody come to mind? Anybody?
I don't know.
What?
Yeah. How you doing over there, Rob? How's your leg after the icy, neglected sidewalk out here?
Well, this time it was
claimed a victim.
For me, it was not ice. It was just a little hole in the sidewalk. It was one of those freak things where my heel just happened to get stuck in that hole at that exact moment.
But how are you feeling over there? Pretty crappy, right? Is it coming around?
I'm happy to report that my right leg is now the same length as my left.
Oh, gosh.
So at least it did its job.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's I'll wrap this up with this thought. As frequent as these, and these are over the last, high school even, so 25 years or so. As frequent as these seem, I'm a little concerned that as I age and get older and become less coordinated just through getting older,
right?
I'm a little concerned that's going to be happening even more frequently and maybe not healing up as fast. And by the way, speaking of healing up, anyone that tells you the mouth heals quickly is a liar.
I agree.
Because I get in such a hurry brushing my teeth sometimes in the morning that, like, I'll just go, you'll slip. And this happens a lot because I'm dumb. And that stuff, that hurts forever. That doesn't heal up fast.
I agree.
Liars.
Like canker sores, those suckers stay around forever. Well, Keith, we want you to take care of yourself. I think we're probably going to start like some sort of company-wide donation where we can get you one of those bubbles. You can buy them on Amazon. You can just live in that thing.
Save your pity. Save it. All right. Well, thank you so much. Subscribe here. Don't forget, click the bell to get notified when we post one of these random videos. So it's, what are we at here? YouTube.com/atthemic with Keith. And don't forget HilaryKennedy.com.
Thanks. All right. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, thank you.